investors. Now, there are three investors we're going to look at. The first is the retail investor. The second is the institutional investor. And the third is the accredited investor. Who's a retail investor? Well, if it's not an institutional investor or an accredited investor, then the investor would be a retail investor. So let's define institutional investor first. An institutional investor would be an investor that was an institution, a broker-dealer, a mutual fund, a bank, an insurance company, or any entity with $50 million or more in assets. $50 million or more in assets. These would be institutional investors. If an investor is not an institutional investor or an accredited investor, then they would be what type of investor? Retail. So we've defined an institutional investor. Now let's define an accredited investor. Now, who is an accredited investor? Accredited investors would include institutional investors, which we just defined. An accredited investor would also be an individual investor, someone filing a tax return as an individual, if their income for each of the past 2 years was $200,000 or more, and they expect the same income this year. If it's a married couple filing a joint tax return, then the income would jump to $300,000 or more each of the past 2 years, and we expect the same this year. Those would be accredited investors. Who else would be defined as an accredited investor? Or if a person's net worth were $1 million or more, not including their primary home. Now, the accredited investor status for non-institutional investors is based on income or net worth, not income and net worth, income or net worth. So $200,000 or more in income for an individual would be accredited. A married couple filing jointly $300,000 or more, or $1 million or more of net worth, not including primary home. Now, let's run through some examples of an accredited investor. Let's say that we have a person, an individual, filing taxes as an individual. Past 2 years, their income was $205,000. They expect to earn $210,000 this year. Their net worth is $900,000, not including their primary home. Would they be defined as an accredited investor? They would. Their income got them there. $205,000 in each of the past 2 years. Expect $210,000 this year. If the income gets a person to the accredited status, we don't need to worry about net worth. What if we have an individual who made $175,000 each of the past 2 years? That might have got them to the accredited status. So their net worth, not including their primary home, is $1.25 million. Well, their income did not get them to the accredited status, but their net worth did, so they would be accredited. Now let's look at a married couple filing a joint tax return. Each of the past 2 years, the couple jointly has earned $320,000. They expect to earn the same this year. Their net worth, not including their primary home, is $800,000. Are they accredited? They are. Their income got them there. If their income got them there, I don't need to worry about the net worth. Net worth would not have gotten them there. Doesn't matter. Their income did. What about this? We have a married couple filing a joint tax return. Their income each of the past 2 years, jointly, $250,000. They expect the same this year. Are they accredited? Their income did not get them to the accredited status. Income would have to have been $300,000. Their income was below the threshold. So the question is, what's their net worth? Their net worth is $1.1 million, not including their primary home. They are an accredited investor.